Hello students, how are you all? Student of class 7, I am your science teacher DPS sir from LPM Public School Gola Bazar Gorakhpur. Student, today I am going to start the revision of chapter 10, that is transportation in animals and plants. So student, this chapter has already been explained and I am going to re-explain this chapter 10, that is transportation in animals and plant. So student, chapter 10, that is transportation in animals and plants. In my today's chapter, I will explain you about the circulatory system in human. Means system, that is a formation of organs together that helps in circulating any important or unnecessary things in the human body is called the circulatory system. Next to it, I will explain about the blood circulation in the human body, how the blood circulate. About the heartbeat, I will explain. About the transportation of material in plants, excretion in animals, how the waste material are thrown out from the body of the animals, that I will explain in today's student. Next, I will explain the excretory system in humans as well as excretion in plant. So student, further I am going to explain you about this chapter, that is the process of transport of substances is very important in living body. The process of transport of substances is very important in living body. The living organisms need to transport materials. What the things that the living things need to transport, like food, water, and oxygen, various part of to the various part of the body, and waste materials are transported from the different organs and are removed from the body, that is thrown out, that is excrete them. The method of transportation of substances are different in plants and animals. So student, in plants and animals, in both the cases the different method of transportation, the organ system, the different organs that unite to do the transportation system, that is called the circulatory system. The organ system of the animals responsible for transport of material is called the circulatory system. Next student, chemical reactions, whatever the reactions occurring in the body always produces some waste materials. These waste these waste includes waste like carbon dioxide and urea. The chemical waste have to be removed because they are poisonous. They are poisonous to us. So it's necessary to remove the from the body. The process of removing the waste produced in the cells is called excretion. So what is excretion doing? Those chemical waste that is produced inside the body, the removing of those waste from the body is called excretion. Now student, next the topic is transportation of material in animals. In unicellular organisms such as amoeba, paramecium, bacteria, etc. So again student, in unicellular means organisms which has got only a single cell, that is called the unicellular organisms, like amoeba, paramecium, bacteria, etc. Transportation of nutrients is simple. So in all these type of unicellular organisms, the material that is transport as nutrients reach every part of the cell through the method of diffusion. In Hydra, student, Hydra is also unicellular organisms. In Hydra, food and oxygen are transported by the means of water that circulate through their body. So those important things like food and oxygen get mixed with the water, and when the water circulates inside the body, the food and the oxygen by the help of that water is transported in their bodies. Now, in multicellular organisms like a human being, you can take transportation is done by a specialized system. That system is known as the circulatory system. So, student, My next topic will be about the transportation in humans circular that is called the circulatory system. Humans have a well developed and efficient circulatory system to transport materials like digested food, oxygen, carbon dioxide, and as well as excretory waste that is produced during the chemical reactions that is occurring inside the body, as well as hormones that is produced inside the from the glands. From one region to another they are transported. So by means of transporting in human body, student, student blood is a vital component of our body. It flows in the blood vessels. Blood flows inside the blood vessels. You can see, student, here how you can see there are red and blue veins in our body. You can see. So through these veins, that is we call the vessels. Through these veins, blood flows all the way through a arrangement of thin tubes. In our whole body there is a arrangement of thin tubes which we call the blood vessels, which we call this in what? Blood vessels. Now blood vessels consist of arteries, veins and capillaries. These three is arteries, veins and capillaries. So these three type of veins are there. In our body, the blood is pumped to each part of the body with the help of the heart. So the heart, which is present in our chest region, just little bit tilted toward the left side and is the shape of our closed fist, which is present. This heart pumps the blood, whether it is oxygenated blood or deoxygenated blood. Both the blood are pumped. So the heart supplies the blood to the entire body with the help of blood vessels, which make an extensive network in the whole body. These blood vessels are transferred in the whole body, present in the whole body, and the blood by the help of these blood vessels are transferred in the whole body, which makes an extensive network in the whole body. This network of blood vessels, which circulates the various material forms the circulatory system. So, student, like this way, the heart, the different types of vessels like arteries, veins, and capillaries, all these four organs together unite to forms the circulatory system. Thus, the main components of circulatory system are, student, blood vessels. There are three types of blood vessels, that is the arteries, veins and capillaries, and the heart. Now student, my next topic is about the blood. Student, blood. What is blood? Blood is a vital component of our body. It's told vital because it is present in a huge amount in our body and present at every corner of the body. Blood is a vital component and is very important for our body, for our living. It flows in the blood vessels and circulate in our body, and the passes through which these bloods flow is the blood vessels and circulates in our body. An average, so student, an average human body contains of 5 to 6 लीटर of blood. Understood? औसतन एक व्यक्ति के शरीर के अंदर ब्लड की मात्रा 5 से 6 लीटर होता है स्टूडेंट. द ब्लड कंटेन्स अ फ्लूइड पार्ट कॉल्ड द प्लाज्मा. सो ब्लड के अंदर एक तरल पदार्थ के रूप में जो मौजूद होता है ब्लड के अंदर उसे कहते हैं प्लाज्मा. और इस प्लाज्मा के कारण ही ब्लड हमारा लिक्विड फॉर्म में मौजूद है. ड्यू टू दिस प्लाज्मा द ब्लड इज इन लिक्विड फॉर्म. और कुछ सॉलिड पार्ट भी होते हैं ब्लड के जिसे हम ब्लड वेसल्स कहते हैं, दैट वी कॉल द ब्लड वेसल्स. और स्टूडेंट, ब्लड वेसल्स तीन प्रकार के होते हैं. देयर आर थ्री डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ ब्लड वेसल्स. दैट इज द आरबीसी, दैट मीन्स the full form is red blood cells or red blood corpuscles, and the next is WBC, that is the white blood cells, and blood platelets. So these are the three different types of blood cells that is present in the blood, which is in the form of solid, and the plasma, which is from the liquid that is present in the blood. So now, student, the blood can be defined as the red color fluid. Blood is a red colored fluid, means liquid, which consists of plasma, fluid together with the RBC, platelets, and WBC. Now, student, what the blood when passes through these blood vessels, what does it carries? So, student, it transports digested food from the small intestine. It just absorbs the digested food from the small intestine to the other and carries to just distribute to all other parts of the body. Next, what it does, student, oxygen from the lungs that is collected by the blood by the help of the hemoglobin that absorbs the oxygen from the lungs, and it distributes to all the cells of the body. And the third, what is being done by the blood is that waste from cells which are collected from the whole cells and are removed from the body by just it just takes the whole waste material from all the body cells and just bring it near the kidney, and from the kidney these waste materials are removed from the body. Now, student, next is the plasma. Student, plasma is a pale yellow watery fluid part, means slight yellowy, means straw in color. Plasma is straw in color, yellow is watery fluid. It is also a watery fluid, student. This is also a part of the blood which carries water and various dissolved materials. So plasma, what are the components of plasma? Plasma along with the water and various dissolved materials are present that forms the plasma. Like what is present else in the plasma? Digested food, waste material, hormones, carbon dioxide, all these are mixed with that watery fluid part of the blood and from one part of the body to another. Plasma constitutes of 55% of our blood. So, in the components of blood, plasma amount of plasma is 55%. Suppose that the blood is 5 to 6 liters are present in the whole body. So, of this 5 to 6 liter, 55% plasma is present in our blood, in our body. It contains about 90% of water. And what else it is contained? It consists of 90% and 3.5% common salt. It contains about 90% water and 3.5% common salt. Now, student, next topic is about the lymph. So, student, what is lymph? There is another fluid in blood that helps in circulation. It is known as the lymph. So, student, one was the plasma that makes the blood in liquid form, and other liquid that is present in the blood is the lymph. It plays a role in protecting the body from germs and infections. So what is the role of this lymph? The role of this lymph is that lymph protects the body from germs and infections. This it does the same work as the WBC do. Now, student, RBC, that is the red blood cells. Red blood cells are disc-shaped and are bright red in color. So you can see, student, here this is the figure of RBC, which is disc shaped, and it is just little bit pressed between, and it is red in color. Because why it is red in color, student? As because it consists of pigment that is called the hemoglobin, and due to the presence of the hemoglobin in RBC cells can absorb oxygen, collect oxygen from the blood, sorry, from the lungs. As because this in RBC hemoglobin is present, and the quality of hemoglobin that they can trap the oxygen from the lungs. So, student, because of the presence of the hemoglobin, the blood can absorb oxygen. The hemoglobin contained in the blood binds with oxygen and transport it from the lungs to all other parts of the cells. Hemoglobin also carries carbon dioxide from the cells during the breakdown of the digestion. After digestion, so what the gas that is released, that is also collected by the hemoglobin from the cells during the breakdown of digestions, food to the lungs, and just discharges by carrying to the lungs. RBC are formed inside the bone marrow. Now, student, where are these RBC cells formed? Student, RBC cells are formed in our bone marrow, that is present inside the backbone, present in the bones and the that is the bone marrow, that is, and the life span of these are near about 120 days. One RBC cells life is of 120 days, student. So, student, this is all about the RBC cells. Now, let's talk about the WBC, that is the white blood cells. Student, white blood cells is not regular in shape as the RBC cells. They are colorless also and bigger in size as compared to red blood cells. Its size bigger than the RBC cells. There are different types of WBC cells that performs the following functions. Now, student, what are the functions of WBC? First, the function is that this WBC present in our blood helps in fighting against the diseases, attacks bacteria. If anyhow the if bacteria or any type of worms is going to come inside our body, so the WBC that is present in the blood as a form of component, these WBC fight against those germs and kills them. Next, what? WBC cells can produce chemical known as the antibodies to fight against infections. So this is also a quality of WBC. Produce a chemical. A chemical is produced which is known as the antibodies that helps to fight against the disease, or you can say infection. Gathers a wound site to eat up bacteria, and it gathers at the wound site, means where you have got wound or cut, that they gather collects, and the bacteria that has some from somewhere from the environment has arise there. This WBC kills them and the germs that try to enter the body. The ratio of the WBC cells to RBC cells is 1 is to 500, means where there is a 500 numbers of RBC cells, in comparison to 500 there is only one cells, means from 500 numbers of RBC cells, in compared to that there is only one WBC cell, that is 1 is to 500 is the ratio. Next is to platelets. Blood contains platelets, which are tiny fragments of cells, means a small parts of cells. They are colorless and round in shape. So these blood platelets are colorless. It has no color and it's round in shape. The platelets, what's the function of platelets, student? The platelet helps the blood to clot. If some from somewhere, if you got any injury or wound or cut by anything, the blood to stop the loss of the blood used to clot there, so that no excess blood from might be lost from the body. For that there is a necessary of platelets. The platelets helps the blood to forms clot to stop bleeding at the wound site to prevent excessive loss of blood. Now, student, blood, plasma and lymph. Plasma and lymph, this is the one branch of the blood. Other branch is blood cells, and the other branch of the blood cells is that other branch of the blood cells is that RBC cells, WBC cells, and platelet that just now I have explained you, student. Next is the blood vessels, student. Blood vessels. How many types of blood vessels are there in human body? Student, as because I have already told you, there are three different types of blood vessels present in human body. That is the, or you can say animals. That is the arteries, veins, and capillaries. Yes, student, that is the arteries, veins, and capillaries. Now, see about the arteries. What is arteries? So, about the arteries, that I will discuss in my next video, student. For today, up to here only, that is blood vessels. How many types of blood vessels are there? There are three different types of blood vessels: arteries, veins, and capillaries. Okay, student. Thank you. Have a nice day, student.